The 44th gene key. Karmic relationships. Shadow of interference. Gift of teamwork. And the city of synarchy. Programming partner, the 24th gene key. Physiology, the immune system. Codon ring, the ring of Illuminati, the 44th and the 50th gene key. Amino acid, glutamic acid. The 44th shadow, interference. Human fractals. The 44th gene key and its entire spectrum of frequencies concern a little understood subject that actually underpins the structure of human societies, as well as the science of incarnation. This subject, which will be briefly introduced through this gene key, is the existence and nature of human fractals. The term fractal refers to a phenomenon found in natural systems, whereby patterns are found to endlessly repeat themselves holographically. The more you magnify a fractal image, the more self-similar patterns you will find hiding within it. The term human fractal is an extension of this notion to human relationships, referring to the web of invisible patterns that bind certain groups of people together. In the classical Indian teachings, such ties between people are known as karmic ties. In the language of human fractals, every person you meet in your life is a part of the overall fractal pattern of your destiny. When you look at fractal images, particularly those generated by a computer, you will notice how fractal geometry follows certain holographic lines and patterns. No matter where you go in the fractal, you find the same patterns repeating infinitely into inner space. As the genetic counterpart of cosmic geometry, human relationship fractals follow similar patterns. You will always draw towards you those relationship geometries that teach you exactly what you need to know in order to evolve your current awareness. Through hologenetics, the astrological profiling system behind the 64 gene keys, you can track these fractal relationship themes. What all of this means is that the people in your life, those closest to you, really hold the secret to your destiny and your higher life purpose. As you learn from each relationship in your life, over time come to master the lessons each affords you. Then the frequency of your entire hologenetic profile heightens in pitch, and you begin to attract higher frequency fractals. A higher frequency human fractal brings new people into your life, most of whom are operating out of a far more transcendent awareness. A sure sign that you are attracting a higher frequency fractal into your life is devotion. Your relationships will begin to carry a quality of devotion within them. If you do not learn the lesson of a certain relationship, even if you leave that relationship, the pattern will come right back into your life through another person. It is through the 44th gene key that all relationships are called towards each other, and why it is so powerfully linked to the theme of ancestral karma and incarnation. The ancient Chinese call the 44th hexagram coming to meet, which is, of course, highly appropriate since this 44th gene key concerns how, why, and when people meet each other, as well as the results that emerge from groups or family dynamics. Human fractals seem to operate at different levels, in relationships, families, local communities, and even whole tribal gene pools. To really understand human fractals, you have to look at life both holistically and holographically. If we view separate human beings like cells within a greater organism, we could say that certain cells bind together at different places within the body at different times for different purposes. In other words, there is a kind of master program that choreographs the movement and migration of human beings. Even though it appears that we as individuals are making free choices, it is really the master program operating through us. The 44th shadow works like a virus within the operating system of this master program, throwing the collective choreography out of synchronization. This creates both local and universal interference. You end up with dysfunctional families, businesses that create more imbalance than balance, governments with inappropriate leadership teams, and relationships that are never easy. The overall result is global chaos. It is exactly what we see today. However, there is one vital thing to understand. The master program cannot be wrong. If it appears to be doing something chaotic, it is in order to diagnose the problem, locate the virus, and reboot the entire system. This is exactly what is beginning to occur on a planetary level. The master program is beginning to assess and eliminate interference patterns, beginning with the smallest components, individuals. The current state of our planet cannot be fixed from the top down. If a program is misfiring in such a huge and complex matter, you have to fix it at the grassroots level. You have to reset the basic components, which are the individuals, followed next by relationships. The moment we begin to see relationships appearing in the world without interference patterns, we will know that the core human fractal is rebuilding itself from the bottom up. Once you have a clear relationship, assembling the rest of the fractal is a relatively easy task. Every clean human fractal begins as a binary, a relationship. This is a universal human blueprint symbolized by the mother and father of the family, although the foundation relationship of this fractal does not require that the two be of the opposite sex. Along with its programming partner, the 24th shadow of addiction, the 44th shadow of interference represents an incredibly powerful virus that keeps people from finding relationships that are healthy and loving. The 44th shadow brings a great deal of genetic baggage from the past. Many people interpret such relationships as karmic, since the bond seems so strong and the lessons so challenging. It may be that they are not so much karmic as transgenetic. In other words, these relationships span two separate fractals or gene pools. The shadow of addiction ensures that even if you leave such a relationship, you are immediately drawn into another, somewhere a little further along the line in the same fractal network. The real reason for such relationships is that they are clearinghouses for ancestral memory. Interference patterns that are transferred through your DNA must be resolved in order for a fractal to be cleaned. Couples or partners who are actively involved in clearing out this collective genetic dysfunction are the pioneers of a coming new age. However, for the majority of the planet, dysfunction is the norm, and until two individuals in a relationship are ready to take on the ancestral interference pattern of their entire fractal, that fractal will remain dysfunctional.